crochet friends, and welcome back to another week of market prepping madness. Let's see, today is September 18th, and my next and possibly final market of the year is on the 28th. It's a Sunday. And last night I looked at the calendar and realized how close it actually is. I don't know why I thought I had 2 weeks, but I do not have 2 weeks. I have 10 days. So last night I decided I was gonna kick it into gear. I'm not doing too terrible because I'm taking a lot of already made things with me. All my slashers are going. Everything that I took to the craft fair a couple weekends ago that didn't sell, which was most of the stuff, all that's coming with me. I'm pretty much going to drag all of my inventory with me and see what we can let go of. But there are a few things that I want to make specifically for the show. The last time I did this, I was asked about turtles and I didn't have any. So I'm making sure that I made those, and I'm making sure that I have snakes, since that's like the main draw of this event. And since there are lots of kids that come to this, I'm trying to, there's a gnat. Okay, cool. Ugh. Since this is a family-friendly event, I'm trying to make sure that I also have things for like the little kids. I'm doing embroidered eyes on some things and stuff like that. So let me show you what I've made so far. I'm just going to keep it real around here. All right, so as far as the turtles go, I have this one that I made probably 2 weeks ago. This is the pattern from Loops and Knots Crochet. This is the free C pattern. Oh my God, I need coffee badly. This is the medium-sized free sea turtle pattern on her YouTube channel. We got it. So I did this one. This was the first one I made, and I did have some trouble with the direction of the fins. She has hers facing the other way, but personally, and this is just me, personally, I like to have the fins with the rounded part facing forward. So here's one. It says like hour project, but mine did not take an hour. I almost have it memorized, so I'm going like pretty much by memory, but it's not an hour for me anyway. So I've got the gray one with the variegated greens and blue body or shell, and then I made a pink one with the almond blanket yarn that I love. I really like this one. I don't know what was like, I just felt like I needed to make a pink one. And then something else was telling me that I needed to do a green shell with the hummus colored body, and I'm going to embroider the eyes on this one. So I've got 3 of the big ones, and then I made, because these only take like 20 minutes and I can do them from memory, I've got a purple shell and the variegated blue shell. I'm thinking, but I'm not sure, because my goal is not to have to buy any more yarn, but I don't know. I might take the purple shell and use the variegated blue for a body. I don't know. And then take the variegated shell and use the gray that I have left for a body. It's cute. I just think it's very washed out. But hey, someone might love it. So that's kind of a TBD. So I've got 3 turtles made, 2 that will be, I can finish these in a day. It's like, that's like a non-issue. So those, and then I've made 1 small one, and I want to have a bunch of these, so I really need to get to work on the smaller ones. I just haven't. I think I'm overwhelmed with the color choices because I've got way more of the smaller velvet yarns than I have anything else. And I think I'm just kind of like overwhelmed with my choices. So, but I have lots of scraps of thicker yarn. So I might kind of mix it up and do a little bit of velvet and a little bit of blanket. I'm not sure. So I've got one of him. I'm gonna have a lot more. And then I've got, okay, snake content incoming. So just be warned. I did 2 of these. Well, one in this color and then one in that variegated blue that I showed you. So this is from Mom's Stitchetti. This is her free snake pattern that's on her Instagram. I wanted to give it a try. I did not want to do the coiled snake this time. The whole point was for these, since like I said, a lot of little kids come, I wanted him to be bigger and I wanted him to be straight. You can like tie him into like a coiled position. But the grown-ups, when they were allowed to bring their snakes into the reptile shows, they would walk around with them like this. So I wanted to make them long enough and straight so when the kids bought them, they could walk around like this. And I cannot wait, and I hope I sell all of them just to see this. I love seeing the kids with my plushies. It's so much fun. So I have one in the green with the white eyes, and I painted the blue sparkles. I was going to use those for something else, but I needed eyes. And then I did one, this is the one I did last night, total spur of the moment one. I didn't check. Okay, good. All right, perfect. Again, this is the Mom's Stitchetti, and I just used plain black eyes on this one. I might do like a white detail on it, and he looks mad. I love when you use thick yarn and you pop the eyes in and it like furrows it. But anyway, so I have one in that color. I want to do 2 more in this size, but yarn is a factor here, so I'm not sure what I will be able to do with that. And I've had like a rush on cockroaches on my Etsy shop. I've sold out of them, which is crazy. So I'm gonna make some more, except this time, instead of using the thicker Cozy Occasion from Hobby Lobby yarn, I'm using velvet yarn, which is a 5 weight instead of a 6. So this is my first one that I tried, and he turned out way smaller than my other ones. But look how cute he is. And he was kind of a pain to do because this yarn is so soft and so much thinner. So it was a journey. And then it's so funny how they always look crooked because of crocheting and around. Everything always looks crooked to me. But anyway, I've got one of him. I'd like to make a few more, and then I can put them back in my shop and see how well the smaller ones do. And then the last thing I've made, and this was like a spur of the moment kind of, I wanted to make it, but I'm hoping that it will do well, is I made another Walter the Voodoo doll from Chrissy's Spooky Crochet. I love voodoo dolls. I think I said this in my last video, my Halloween pattern roundup. I think voodoo dolls are so neat. When I was in high school, I went through like a phase where I was researching it, studying it, went to New Orleans and saw all of the cool voodoo related things there. So yeah, that was pretty awesome. But I made him, and I used the same hummus for the turtle, Cozy Occasion yarn, and I used an 8mm hook on him, and he turned out bigger than my other ones did. Honestly, and this is just my opinion, I like him in the almond from Bernat with the 6. I think I used a 6 the last time. I don't remember. But I do have a 6.5mm hook now that I think I might, if I do another one, I'm going to do him in a 6.5. So, but I like how I did his heart with the stitching on it. So that's cool. But that is what I have made thus far for the Reptile Show. Well, technically I also did this. I took 0 with me to my craft fair because I was going to finish him, and I think I said this in the video. and I took the yarn, and I took a little bit of stuffing. I took everything with me that I needed but the hook. So I finished him the other day. I'm going to make probably 2 more of him because people love him. He needs a good bath. He needs a lint brush real bad. But I'm going to make a couple more of him for the show also. But that's what I have so far. In the next few days, I'm going to be working on more snakes and more turtles. And then I think I have plenty of rats. I have plenty of other bugs. I might make either at least 1 more cockroach. I don't know how many more I'm going to make. And I'm at the point where my list is starting to dwindle as far as like what I actually want to make. I look at it every morning when I get up, and today I knocked off several things, so it keeps getting smaller. But that's fine because that means less things that I have to make and haul an hour and a half away. So we will just see. But for right now, I'm technically on a lunch break from homeschool, and we have to run some errands today. So I'm gonna have some lunch and do that, and then see what I can get into later on. I don't know how much I will be able to do today, but we'll see. So, all right, I'll check back in later. Good morning. It is Saturday morning. It's 7:30. Everybody else in the house is still asleep, so I'm trying to keep my voice low. My cat woke me up this morning before 6 o'clock wanting food. She was actually banging on our bedroom door, which was fun. She never does that. And so I got up and fed her. And if you have a cat, you know what I'm about to say. She took 2 bites and then walked out of the room and went and stretched out on the floor. So, yeah. I decided just to go ahead and stay up and get to work, since my show is a week from tomorrow, and I've got a few things that I want to get done. Last night I started making another little turtle, and he's finished. So today, and this is the pattern from the Friendly Red Fox. My goal today is to make as many of those as I can, so we're going to see how that goes. And then I might finish 1 more big one. Wherever the variegated, the bigger shell like this is. But I'm going to try to make as many of the small ones as I can. And that's the goal for today. So I'm going to get started, and I'll check back in later when I have one finished. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. We are just a few days away from the last market of the season, year, I guess. And I really don't have that much left to make. And this is strange because this is the first market that I've done where I've not been like frantically prepping the week before. I'm just kind of doing my thing. Probably because of the amount of inventory that I already have. You know, it's not what I would normally bring to a reptile show, but since it's, you know, we're in a holiday-ish season right now. The show's going to be on the 28th, and, you know, October's right around the corner. So I'm hoping that some of the Halloween stuff that I didn't sell at the craft fair will do well at this market. But I have been busy. Okay, so I showed my turtles that I did in the last video, and that's pretty much what I have been making the last few days. So I decided, like, I don't want to say last minute, but I thought it would be fun to have like some specialty turtles. And plus I just really like making these. I know they're not my vibe, but you can get turtles at a reptile show, so that's why I'm even entertaining making these. But I made a daisy turtle The petals are a little, there are a lot of them. I'm trying to think of the word that I want to use. Concentrated. There are a lot of them. I freehanded those, so there are a lot. But I think she is so cute, especially like this view, because she's all like tucked in. So she's adorable. And then I did, and this one was an event, I made a sunflower, because I know those are popular. And I've got some ends to fix. Okay, we all know Sweet Snuggles Light and its issues. When I bought this skein, I thought I was getting a new one, but I don't know that I did. Now, I will say that this is all I have left of it, so I've gone through a huge chunk of it, and it gave me no problems. You know, obviously sewing with it was a nightmare, but that's to be expected with a chenille yarn. When I made Daisy, she was fine. Magic ring, obviously 4 magic rings. Now these are different because, and this is a free pattern from, I used the Friendly Red Fox's turtle pattern, and then I just freehanded the petals on. But you can see her fins. You know, she's got 4 fins here, and this is the typical, you make your circle and then you fold it in half. This one is a little different because instead of like single crochet into a magic ring, that one starts with 8 half double crochets in a magic ring. I think it was 8. It might have, no, it's 8. And she did fine. No problems whatsoever. Worked like a charm. Now when we get to Sunny here, it was a nightmare. I had the worst time making these fins. Her head was no problem, but that's just regular single crochet into the ring. These were awful. I broke, I think 3 trying to pull them closed. And then you can see that she's got the pieces hanging out. I tried the chain 2 method, which I don't like. Granted, this is the first time I've actually tried using it. I don't like it. That's just me. I learned the magic ring first, and that's what I stick with. So now I'm going to have to, and here's another reason why I don't like chain 2. So after I was, or like while I was crocheting the 2 pieces together, I noticed that the chain was coming loose, and then, you know, when I would try to tighten it, it would just strip the yarn. So now I have to go in and sew this up and sew this one up. I've already done this one, and I'll probably just do that one just because. Come on, Michaels, get it together. I don't know what other, this is a me problem here. I don't know what other color I can use for brains. It's like the perfect pink for brain. My husband's like, well, just don't buy that type of yarn anymore. I'm like, but that's the perfect color pink for brains. I mean, who else says that? And I don't like ordering from Premier. It takes too long. So anyway, those are my 2 specialty turtles. I was going to make a third and do another sunflower, but I'm afraid I won't have enough yarn, and I'm not buying any more. So those are those. And then for the smaller ones, the last time I was on, I had these 2. This was a different pattern. I botched it, but I'm still going to sell it. So I have these 2, and then I made 2 small ones, and I'm going to embroider the eyes on. And it was so funny is I picked the blue out to go with the blue that's in the variegated, and then that little bit right there is the only amount that you can actually see in this one, and I just thought that was very funny. And then I made a gray one, a little tiny baby gray one, And then I did a purple, like a lavender, with the blue variegated. And just, I thought this one was going to be fun. I wanted to use my bright pink, and this one kind of reminds me of like the dragon fruit. I think it's dragon fruit that everybody loves. This is what I used for my sock monkey ages ago, and it's a fun yarn to use. It's very soft. Kind of hard to see the stitches, but whatever. We're used to that around here. So those are my small turtles. I was going to do 10. I've got 6 now, and I think that's probably going to be it for those. Maybe, because they are easy to make. I was thinking of doing another color with this, and then a different color body, and then another of the blue. But I've already got 2 blue turtles. I don't want to have another one. I don't know. I might do another purple one. Who knows? And then I've got, since I have the bigger sunflowers, I think I'm going to do maybe 4 smaller ones. So I've got the head and the fins started. And you can see like a little bit of a difference in the size, and that's totally fine. These were going to be a couple dollars more just because of the work that goes into the petals anyway. This is a free pattern that I found on Ribbler. I will put all of the links down below, but there are those. So I think I might do 2 sunflowers and 2 daisies, TBD. And depending on how much of this I have, because I think this is the last skein of this green that I have, I might do like 2 green ones and 2 purple ones. Purple seems to sell really well, like lavender purple. So we'll see about that. And then the other day I had to take my car in to be serviced because my battery decided that it was done. So I got a brand new battery, and while we were sitting there waiting for service, I made my turtle. I was sitting in the waiting room crocheting furiously. I'm gonna do the embroidered eyes on this one, but this is the shell that I had made forever ago, and then I just made his body. But I am out of stuffing, so we might have to go get some more today. Well, I'm gonna have to get some more today because I can't finish anything because I have no more. I don't know where he is, but I also made like, oh wait a minute, he's right here. The last reptile show I did, I just made these and they sold really well. And then somebody asked me for a purple one, and of course that was the one color I didn't have. So I made a purple baby snake. Gonna embroider the eyes again. Sorry. This is the one that didn't sell from my last show. This was the last one that I had, this yellow one. And it's so funny, my tension is so much different. This was from, I made this probably in March, and then this one was today, and you can tell, like, this is, I'm pretty sure it was the same hook, same pattern. It's blanket, but I can tell, I don't know, I may have used an 8 on that, I don't know. But, like, I can use scrap yarn for those, so I plan on making, I don't know, maybe 2 more. I'm running out of steam. But, I just have to check my stash and see what colors I have. So, and then the last thing that I'm working on, I'm only going to make one of these, and I might have to get more yarn, I'm not sure. And I really hope I don't. This is, and again, I forget the pattern designer. Sorry. Chompers the alligator. I have seen alligators at reptile shows before. I don't think it's legal to own them as pets. So I haven't seen any in a while, but years ago when we first started going to these, we would see them. I made one of these for my mom and he turned out adorable, and I actually meant to have him in a video, and I mailed him off, so I didn't get to talk about him. But this one is, I'm using a different color green. The other one that I made, I used this darker green because it was for a Florida fan. Not Florida State, but like Florida University of Gators. So that's why I got a gator. This is a different color yarn. And I'm using a bigger hook this time because I wanted him to be just a little bit bigger. The other one was a baby shower gift, and I embroidered his eyes on. I might put pictures in it if I can remember. But he looks kind of mad again with the way the yarn is, but when I stuff it, hopefully I can stretch the yarn out a little bit. Fun fact, if I could have any pet, like any exotic pet in the world, it would be an alligator and a tiger. Yeah, I love alligators. I love crocodiles. My son and I went through like this whole phase together where that was like all we read about and all we watched shows on. So if he doesn't sell, I'm keeping him. But he might, I don't know. But it's a fun pattern. It's like different techniques that I've learned while making this. I'm not gonna like totally give it away, but he turns out really cute when he's finished too. But I'm worried that I'm not gonna have enough yarn. I thought I was going to, but then I changed my hook size last minute, and that kind of, you know, messed some stuff up. But anyway, I am going to get some stuffing today. It's Wednesday, and we have a lecture that we go to for homeschool, and since we'll be out, I'll just grab some then. And I'm gonna get some more black to make two more black loaf cats, and hopefully those will do well. But I think in my Etsy shop it'll be fine if they don't sell. But I don't have a whole lot left that I want to make. I'm gonna do a few more snakes. I'm gonna do these turtles, which I could knock out in like just over an hour. What else? I might do 2 more zeros. I might only do 1. I don't know that I want to make any more cockroaches. I don't know. But we're getting down to it. I don't have a whole lot left, which is exciting. And so I'm gonna have to start gathering up things for my display. I don't have to worry about like theme or anything. You know, I can just set up and be normal. Make sure I have change, which I know I do. Get my bag ready, get everything gathered up. I want to do that early since it is on a Sunday and it is an hour and a half away. This is the first time I've traveled this far for a market, so I'm kind of nervous about that. And I might be, cat just sneezed. I might be doing it solo, I'm not sure. And I had found a wagon. Like, I did so much research on like a collapsible wagon, because I feel like it's time for me to have one. And I had it in my cart, and for 2 days I meant to send it to my husband because I just, long story there, but I always send what I want to him. My son uses my cart as like a wish list kind of thing, and I've got like $3,000 worth of Halloween stuff in there right now, and different things that my son has put in it. So for ease, I just send it to my husband. And I kept forgetting. I'm like, okay, I'll do it tomorrow morning. And this morning when I looked, it had gone from $35 to $56, and I'm not doing that. So I have to find another one. But I guess that's okay, because the one I was looking at, I was afraid, because it was like the larger capacity, I was afraid I would have a hard time like maneuvering it. So I need to find another wagon, which is top of my list today. and get some stuff made. But anyway, I'm gonna go try to find something to take apart so I can get the stuffing out of it, because I really don't want to have to buy any more of this green, and try to finish something before my kiddo wakes up. So I will check back in maybe in a little bit, because this video goes live today, so I have to figure out like when to stop. All right, see ya. Okay, friends, Otis and I are back, and I think this is where we're probably going to wrap it up, because I have finished a few things, and before I start on like the last little bit, I don't want to get into any more for this video right now, because I have to edit it and upload it and all of that other stuff. So I finished the alligator, and I was so afraid I was gonna run out of yarn. Oh, I almost said ink. I don't know. Anyway, so here he is, and I love him. I think these are so cute. His eyes, next time I would really like to do the glitter eyes, but this is all I had, so we went with it. So he's ready. And then I finished sewing up this little guy. A long time ago, I had started a bumblebee. It was the first bee I ever made, but I was gonna make it like a Beetlejuice inspired one, black and white with like the green wings and purple eyes and everything. And this was when I first started crocheting. It was the very first bee I ever made. He is huge, like he's huge. I used like an 8mm hook, and my tension was still very loose. So he turned out gigantic, and I put these like tiny little eyes on him, and it looks awful. I never finished him because I didn't like his wings when I made them. So he stayed in, I have like this bag of whips that will probably never be completed for various reasons. So I took him out, and if you've made a bee or a loaf cat, you know they take a ridiculous amount of stuffing. So bathing beauty. So I took his stuffing, and I was able to finish the alligator. Pretty much all of that came from the bee. I don't know of any that didn't. So most of that came from the bee. The alligator's finished. I got to finish this turtle that I started yesterday. So I'm gonna embroider his face later. And then the last thing I finished was the little sunflower turtle. And I am gonna do probably 3 more of these. However, I did not read the entire pattern. I just dove in, and I did not realize that it was a sewing pattern. So I had to sew his head and his fins on. I was not happy about that. So, and it was this morning. I did not have the math in me at that point. But I think for the remainder of these little guys and gals, I'm going to try to just crochet their head and fins in, because I'm not doing that again. Not for market. Like if this was for someone, maybe, but we're not doing that around here. We're no or low sew all the way. And even this was, I mean, it didn't take that long. It was just annoying. So I think I'm gonna do, I don't know if I have enough green. I probably have enough green for, I don't know if I have enough green, but I know I have enough purple. I don't know. I'd like to do 3 more. I know I can easily get 2 purple ones, but doing another green one, that's gonna be kind of tricky. So we'll just have to see about that. But anyway, I think that's gonna be it for this week. Next week will be the last bit of market prep for my last market. I'm bummed. Like, I like doing them. Who knows? I might find another one, but Christmas markets are not my thing. I don't do Christmas stuff. Although I did see a gingerbread man from Annie Caraway Art and a moose that I'm obsessed with. Not a moose, a reindeer. It was like a moose reindeer 2-in-1 kind of thing. So it would obviously be the reindeer. But I might do the moose anyway, just because it's cool. So I guess that's it for this week. Otis and I are going to sign off. So I have to go get ready for the day. We've got a lot to do. busy weekend ahead. I'm getting ready for everything, and I will start that video probably later today. So if you stuck around, thank you so much. And okay, he's gonna knock everything down. Okay, like and comment and subscribe and all of that good stuff if you like what you've seen here. Next week is gonna, like I said, next week is gonna be the last little bit of market prep. Probably scenes from the market and the recap. So stick around for that and see what sells and what doesn't. Hopefully all of it, but I know that's not gonna happen. Okay. All right, so thank you guys for supporting my channel, and I will see you next week. And until then, happy crocheting. Say bye, boat. Say bye. You say bye? Okay, fine.